It's September 22nd, 2025, and I'm starting this week off over here at Costa Mesa Middle and High School. This is quite a morning. I'm going all across campus because I'm hardly here, but I ran into one of the teachers I'm subbing for today, or co-teaching with today, and she led me to this room that I didn't know existed. So anyways, just special education, but I'll be helping with math. The person who works in the office was happy to see me because this is the first time in like 22 months since I've been here. I last subbed in November 2023. In fact, the teacher whom I'm co-teaching with today was the math teacher whom I subbed for November 2023. And then another person worked in the office. He was a friend of mine when I was like in elementary school. And it's good to see each other again. And then as I'm going all around campus in circles, I'm being called out by students whom I subbed for, like at Paularino and Kellybrook, and they're happy to see me again. So I'm sure today will be a good day. Wow, I was in Mu Alpha Theta over at OCC. That's the Honor Society for Mathematics over there. So today ended up being amazing so far and a roller coaster. I started out in here. I actually didn't have a period, so I said, hey, I could help with math, and they let me help, but not a lot of students needed help. And then I was in here for second period, then I went downstairs for third period, back up here for fourth period, downstairs for fifth period, back up here next door for sixth period, and of course there's lunch and break in between, and I have one more period which is going back downstairs. When I'm downstairs, I'm co-teaching with another math teacher, and I get to help out the most in math in that class. The students in these classes up here don't really ask a lot of math questions. Oh well. Another adventure of today is that it seems like every single student, I mean like almost every single student, is like calling me out, pointing me out, stopping me and saying, hey, you subbed for me in this school a few years ago or a couple of years ago or last year, like College Park and Davis and Kellybrook and Paularino, and even some in the Estancia zone such as Adams and Victoria. And they're either talking to me or I'm overhearing them in the background, and apparently I'm the person that does magic tricks or sleight of hand tricks, and some ask to see a card trick or some ask if I remember them. One person asked me for an autograph. And that's probably because on the other side of the coin, there have been so many students ask me, hey, aren't you on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram? I'm like, yeah, I post there about autism awareness and my adventures in substitute teaching. So I have Costa Mesa Middle and High School up on YouTube many times. There's one student from College Park up in this classroom who asked me at the end of the period if I plan to write another book. I'm like, well, I already have two. I have another book written, actually it's a trilogy, but I'm not sure if I'm going to publish it. And he remembered me from presentations or subbing back at his old school. I asked him if I do write a third book, would you prefer fiction or nonfiction? And he thought a moment and he said fiction. In fact, again, I have a trilogy that I've written the bulk of from 2013 to 2017. And that's about a fictional boy who has autism, so maybe in the future I'll publish that. So honestly, from my heart, it was very reaffirming to me to hear all the compliments and people remembering me from subbing for them back at their feeder schools, even if it was a few years ago. And at least one student at lunchtime said that I'm one of his favorite subs, so again, it's very reaffirming to know that. And it tells me that I'm making some form of a difference as I await a teaching job in mathematics. And now, one last transit of the day. So as always, even though it's few and far between, it's good to be back at Costa Mesa Middle and High School. It's September 23rd, 2025, and I'm over here at Newport Heights Elementary subbing first grade today. It's only lunchtime now, and I kind of need to sit down. It all started this morning, and students were happy to see me, even though I subbed for them once last year, whether it was their kindergarten class or it was music for an hour. Other students were just intrigued of how tall I was, and I keep getting asked, like, everywhere I go. I'm about 6'2". But once we came inside here, it was more managing than teaching, but we muscled through Haggerty, which is like phonics, and we got through that, and then we got through centers. But you know what? I actually enjoyed it, and I'm not joking. I mean, it kept me busy, but I was just helping students out. I was going from, desk to desk, like helping them on their Haggerty page, and then circling during the hour of rotations and taking questions from students. And sometimes like 2 or 3 students are asking me questions at the same time. And I'm like, give me a minute, please. And a lot of students know that I do tricks, and they're asking to see tricks all day. I'm like, I want you to earn it first. And so, we get through everything and I show them a little card trick. There's a couple of other teachers that are coming in and out and parents who are helping. When I got in this morning, the teacher said in her sub-plans, this is kind of a difficult class, so she warned me ahead of time. But they're kind in heart. After lunch, it's art masters, so they're going to be doing artwork, and the person running it is a parent of a classmate whom I had 20 years ago at the school. And then there's Shark Tank, which is like their computer lab. Well, not really computer lab, but they, work on the Chromebooks. So just a few things to add real quick. As I was picking them up at lunch, there's a person who works here, and she came to me and said, hey, I just want to let you know that my children bought your book. And then she said she couldn't wait to read them because she said that her husband also has the same autism diagnosis as I do. So I was very appreciative to hear that. And then I came back in here and I realized that one of the first graders was at Sonora last year in kindergarten, and I subbed for her, and she said that was very fun as a sub. And again, a few students today said that they liked me as a sub. So everyone's out at last recess right now, and my former third grade teacher teaches first grade, said on his megaphone, Matthew Kenslow, what year were you in my class? And I said 2003 to 2004. Again, it's great to be back here at my old elementary school. It's September 24th, 2025, and I'm over here at TeWinkle Middle School subbing English today. First time I'm all the way over here on this side of campus, about to find out what I'm doing today. Okay, so I got a grasp of today. So period 1, I'm co-teaching in this room for 8th grade language arts. And then in 3rd period and 4th period, I'm going to go over to room 27 to do the same thing. So I'm co-teaching with another teacher, but she has a sub, so we're going to work together. And then period 5 and period 6, I'm back in here for 7th grade honors language arts. And period 7, I'm also back inside here. But period 2, the prep period, is actually going to be very interesting. Which is right over here in the science classroom. I just covered a science class for period 2, and they're doing a gizmos activity about density, and several students remembered me from subbing for them in their elementary schools, especially Adams and Pomona. So this day was fantastic, almost like Costa Mesa on Monday where I was going back and forth. But also just like at Costa Mesa, a lot of students were happy to see me again. A lot of them were remembering me from their feeder schools such as California, Wilson, Ray, Pomona, and Adams. And this teacher also completed her master's in education at Vanguard University. And dozens of students were asking to see card tricks all day too. So I was always glad to be here at TeWinkle. And it's September 25th, 2025, and I'm subbing at Mariners today. So inside the 6th grade classroom, it's good to be back here at Mariners. The principal used to be the principal at Newport Elementary the past few years. There used to be a worker at Newport L who was a commander at Royal Rangers, and he and I were commander for over 10 years, and I knew him for a few years before that, back when I was in high school. Unfortunately, he just passed away earlier this month, and he was like a mentor to me, and it was very hard hearing the news. I still can't believe it. I mean, it's not sudden, but at the same time, I just can't believe it. I could still hear his voice, so we kind of talked about that, and we're planning on attending the service next month. On the way over here, I was walking with another sub who is also doing 6th grade. In fact, all 6th grade teachers are out today, probably, I'm not sure, report cards maybe. And she asked me, hey, did you go to College Park and sub there? And I said yes. And she's like, oh, all the students are saying, hey, he's the sub that does magic tricks. So again, I do sleight of hand as reward for good behavior. Well, I just skimmed through the notes and the packets and the schedule today, so it looks like we're going to be doing surface area and volume for math, and you know, I love math, so I'm kind of excited about that, and so I'm excited for the day. It's lunchtime now, and I could already say that this is one of the best sets of 6th graders that I've subbed for to date, and I'm not being facetious there. The morning started with morning journal, followed by wonders reading about volcanoes, after which were independent science activities in the Chromebooks, followed by volume and surface area review. And that math review was right before snack and recess, so that was the only time this morning where I really got a bit antsy, but other than that, they were perfect, and they're excellent readers and following along, paying attention. A microphone was passed around, and they read 1 to 2 paragraphs at a time, and everything was just flawless. And then I had recess duty outside, and I was surrounded by probably a dozen students asking to see tricks. After they came back from recess, they read a chapter in the novel that they're reading. Just like the Wonders activity, they passed the microphone around, and it was excellent. And then that followed an hour of a CSI math mystery packet talking about area of triangles, volume of rectangular prisms, surface area of rectangular prisms, and all that. So I did get to help out a few more students in math. So after lunch is silent reading, studying for a couple of tests, and probably extra recess since they for sure earned it today. And then after school, I'm going to tutor piano for an hour and then algebra 2 for an hour. And there's one thing I just feel in my heart I gotta add. Yesterday afternoon, I tutored math for a couple of hours. They're both from the Fountain Valley School District. The first student was in 7th grade learning all about rational numbers, and the second student was in algebra 2, and she was really struggling with piecewise functions, like where you have like 2 or 3 functions and the domain is restricted and all that. And I took my time and explained and went through a few practice problems. At the very end, she got it. And she was so happy, and she told her mom afterward, he saved my life because I couldn't do this on my own earlier. And you know, it's just a great feeling inside me. It's really affirming to me that I was able to help. And I do wish that every student was like that when I tutored them, but it's not every single student, but I do try my best. But something that really made me smile so much inside and out was that student pulled out $2 and said, here's a tip, thank you so much. So I'm very appreciative of that. Not the first time I got tips from a student. I mean, there's one student that I tutored, he gave me $1, and another student that I tutored, and he gave me like a bag of gummy worms or something. And just in case, just to clarify, this is my private math tutoring business that I do after school, not a part of the district or anything like that. And I feel very blessed that the tutoring is picking back up, because over summer there's only a couple of students and now there's more. So I'm positive that the rest of the day will go fantastically, and I can't wait for next time, and I know where I'm going to be tomorrow to conclude the week, which is over here at Paularino Elementary. It's September 26, 2025, and I'm concluding this week off here at my old stomping grounds. And first time subbing over here at this part of campus. And today is going to be special education, 3rd and 4th grade, specifically autism. And so this day is going amazingly so far. It's lunchtime now, and there's 3 to 4 aides in here at one time. And we're going through everything like math, and I've been helping out a lot with math, a lot of like counting and adding. And then there's social studies, which preceded physical education in the NPR, and then after lunch is going to be language arts. So I'm just going around helping students in their packets or in their binders for math or whatever subject it is. And then I'm the tech, I presume, playing Jack Hartman in the morning and then later a brain break. And it must be a special day today. There's like a whole buffet over in the lounge. One person said to me, you picked a good day to sub. So the fruit and muffin was very delicious. The day started with flag deck, and the new principal here used to work at Ensign a couple of years ago, and I met her when I was doing my student teaching and then subbing in subsequent years. So it's been a terrific week this week. So remember that disability or not, anyone can do whatever they set their heart and mind to do, as long as it's practical, and behind the disability we have a heart and a mind. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.